Last week I made a video called What the Hell is Crash Team Rumble? Because this game was announced multiple months ago. I think it was at the Game Awards 2022. It's been 3 or 4 months since it was released and we just don't really know what the game is or what it's about. Well, today some of those questions were answered because we had a massive information dump, just gameplay, the price, the release date of the game. So I just wanted to do a quick video talking about this information. I actually said on my community tab earlier that I was going to be doing a video about this later, and I accidentally called it WumpaLewis. I'm still calling it WumpaLewis accidentally because of the years of that code name. This is some information from VGC. Crash Team Rumble release date and closed beta confirmed. The 4v4 multiplayer game will be out in June. So yeah, the game will be releasing on June the 20th. I didn't think it'd be releasing this soon. I didn't think it would get that summer release date. Just because Crash Team Racing came out in June, that was also announced at the Game Awards, but that had the release date when it was announced. This didn't. So I thought this was going to be coming out later on in the year, especially because I thought the information was going to be revealed at a big event. This was just sort of dropped out of nowhere. I mean, I suppose PAX is coming up, but still it wasn't revealed on the stage or anything. It was just dropped by content creators and news outlets. So that surprised me. But yeah, it's coming out in June, so only a few months away now. A closed beta will also take place on April 20th to the 24th for players that pre-order the game. The beta will feature 5 characters, Crash, Coco, Torna, Neocortex, and Dingodile, and 3 different maps. I think we've had a look at the 3 maps that will be in the beta because CandianGuyEhh just did a video showcasing 3 maps. Crash Team Rumble will cost $29.99 for the standard edition and $39.99 for the deluxe edition. The standard edition will include the game, closed beta access for those who pre-order, and a premium battle pass for Season 1. The deluxe edition will also include the above, plus a premium battle pass for Season 2, a 25 tier instant unlock for Season 1, and a digital proto pack which includes blocky skins and equipable items. So there is going to be a season pass then. This obviously confirms it, and it sort of makes sense anyway for being a multiplayer game or whatever. But now obviously there's going to be a way to earn the season rewards through playing the game, winning matches, all that kind of stuff to unlock the, different rewards for the seasons. But is there going to be a way to just pay to unlock the whole thing? I don't really care about earning things if you can buy them. I don't think it's cool when you can't distinguish whether or not someone has bought something or they've grinded for it. So I don't know what that means, a 25 tier instant unlock. Correct me if I'm mistaking this. I just hope there's things in the game that you can't pay for, basically. The final game will contain a roster of Crash Bandicoot series heroes and villains, each of which falls into one of 3 roles: blocker, booster, and scorer. Players will have to work together to bank the most Wumpa fruit in their drop-off zone, while preventing their opponents from doing the same. Each character has their own unique relic powers, meaning players will have to choose which characters are best suited to help their team. Activision has also confirmed that the game will include cross-platform play. Now, we already know that this is the Crash 4 engine. It's got the Crash 4 character designs. I think at one point this was supposed to be a mode in Crash 4, but then maybe it got scrapped and it was fleshed out into its own new game. It's going to be using music from that game as well, and I'm just wondering, are we going to see characters that weren't in Crash 4? I assume we will, based on what it says down here. Based on the fact that it says, there's going to be characters from the Crash Bandicoot universe. We already know there are new characters as well, like the Bat character. They weren't in Crash 4, but they are in this, so I think it's safe to assume that we will see some classic characters like Crunch in the game. No, it does not need to outmatch Nitro Fueled in terms of character roster. Nitro Fueled went above and beyond with its characters like the Crate. It wasn't necessary at all, it was just funny. This game does not need to do that, but it would be cool to see a decent sized roster with the classic characters at least. Now, CandianGuyEhh got to talk in a meeting with some people from Toys for Bob, and this was from his video. There's lots of music, so much music, so many sound effects. We want to pull all that into this experience. That could mean they are taking music from the whole series. I highly doubt they are going to use any music from games before the Insane trilogy. Like, I think it'd be cool, but I genuinely don't think that is going to happen at all. I also don't know if this quote means that there's so much music and sound effects from Crash 4 that they want to put into Crash Team Rumble. It could mean a lot of things, but I think they're only going to really be focusing on Crash 4 music. And I hope I'm not correct. I hope they use a variety of different music. It would be nice if there was some original music too. Music that is made for this specific type of game, this specific type of gameplay gameplay. I suppose there's already some existing tracks that would fit this style of gameplay, but I don't think it's too much to ask for to have some original music, especially since it is a game that you will be paying for. A lot of people thought this was going to be free to play, but no, you'll be paying either $30 or $40 depending on what edition you pick. And so I hope they're not just reusing Crash 4 stuff, basically. You know, like, they are using the Crash 4 assets for this game, obviously, and that's fine. This is the newest game in the series, of course, you know, they're going to continue that style. But I just hope we see some more classic characters in the game, and I hope we see some original music and all that kind of stuff, not just reused stuff for the whole thing, right? When you look at the gameplay, and all this is from CandianGuyEhh's channel, by the way, it looks fun. Okay, the game, that's first thing. The gameplay looks like it could be a really fun game. But if you look at it, though, a lot of the, I don't know, the characters' movesets are taken from Crash 4. When you're respawning, it plays the Crash 4 menu music. I don't know if it's a work in progress, but I do hope they make more original music for the game, for things like that, for the menu and stuff. Because if you're even hearing the Crash 4 menu music while you're respawning, I just don't want it to feel too much like it's just taking stuff from Crash 4. Because the game itself is fun, and I just hope they're able to make it its own thing, really. There is an announcer commentating on the game as well, which is pretty cool.
Enemy team boosted. Enemy Oxide's UFO. It's neck and neck.
The one thing I'll say that is missing that I hope they add into the final release, because I feel like when I watch this gameplay, something's missing. The one thing I think is missing, I don't know if anyone feels the same way, but you've got all these different Crash characters running around, fighting each other, running past each other, but you can't hear anything to do with them. Like, they're not saying anything. Whereas if you play a game like Crash Nitro Kart, every time a character passes you, or is about to pass you, they have their own, like, unique dialogue. You know, like, Cortex has his own dialogue for when he's behind you, and, you know, when he's gaining speed on you, when he's about to pass you, he's got his own dialogue. They all have their own dialogue for when they overtake you.
Time waits for no one.
You call that racing? This is racing to the moon!
The doctor is in.
Alrighty!
I think something like that would work well here. If, you know, you're playing as Crash, you run past Cortex, and he's got his own dialogue that will sometimes say. Because on a big scale, playing with all these different characters, I think that would add something to just the way the game feels, you know, make it a bit more lively, I suppose. Because it does seem a bit weird just have the characters not saying anything whatsoever. But again, would they go out of their way to record more voice lines? Because they can't take that from Crash 4. There's nothing in Crash 4 like that to make that work. So I really hope they record more voice lines like that. Or I guess the easy way is to just not have the characters talk whatsoever. But I think that is all I have to say. I'll leave the CandianGuyEhh video down below in the description, and I'll leave the article that I read. I hope it's a good game. It does look like it could be really fun. Again, I do have a few worries about what we've seen or what we haven't seen, you know, with the music and whatnot. I also have my worries about how long this thing is going to last, like seriously. You know, Crash Team Racing was massive. It sold over 10 million copies. Everyone loved it, millions of people, and yet that game didn't last. That game had to have its support cancelled. So for this game, which probably isn't going to be as big as CTR because it's a brand new thing, it can do well, but it's probably not going to do CTR Nitro Fueled numbers, which is fine. It just makes me wonder, if that is the case, what does Activision think of that? What are they going to do for it? Are they going to scrap it after a few months? How long is this game going to last, basically? But that being said, let me know down below your thoughts on all this information. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you all in my next video.